you last week's rug and take it off for you so that we can have a look at it upside down. So, and we talked last week about maybe it not being everything I wanted it to be, but the more I look at it, the more I like it. So that's a really good thing. So when you're taking a rug off the Shed-A-Camp frame, the first thing that I do is I untie my sides. A lot of times when people get the Shed-A-Camp frame, they find it, they're like, oh, it's not stable. And I say, well, do you have your chalk line pulled to your sides? And they say, no, what's that? And even though it's in our videos and stuff, sometimes people forget. But this tightening off the frame on the sides is what gives the Shed-A-Camp frame its stability. So it's really important. And chalk line is tricky. There we go. Okay, pull this off. I think this rug is really quite lovely, and I'm sorry that I was so critical of it last week and in the show, because it's not really fair. You know, you don't really know a rug. Like this rug here. Can you show them that rug there, Angela? It's the sunset through the trees, kind of. And before I had that rug frame too, I was really critical of it. But now I think it's really beautiful, and I love it. So, you know, like, yeah, it's like you kind of, sometimes we're so quick to judge. And I think that's one of the mistakes that a lot of rug hookers make, is they're very quick to judge and they're harsh on themselves. I'm gonna tuck that away. I just want to put that away now. They're harsh on themselves and their work. And there's really, we don't need to be, right? We should, like, why aren't we gentler with ourselves in general? Are you harsh with yourself, Angela?
I think so, a little bit.
Yeah. So maybe that's our question for the week. How are you harsh with yourself? Like, I hear myself saying things sometimes. Terry Cole, what are you doing?
I'm stealing your pillow.
Well, show them the pillow, Terry. Don't just steal the pillows.
There's the pillow.
What do you think of the pillows?
I think they're gorgeous.
I love them. And they are available as a kit, as a set of patterns. And I guess our neutral, we're going to leave our neutral course on sale for a couple weeks until people have a chance. What do you think of this rug, Terry? You just be honest. What do you think of it?
I don't have to grab some mic, Terry.
I like the colors.
I like the colors.
I like the colors.
But it's unusual.
It's unusual. Yeah, it is. But there's things about it I really like. So I'm just gonna, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this ready for Norma to prep. And I'm just prepping it for her. This is my prep. Whack, 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 whack. Okay. Who's on phones, Tier? She must have lost the phone. Okay. All right. So there we go. Now, a little trick I want to show you about clipping. Okay. You can roll your rug, and if you roll your rug, you can see all the things when you roll it. You can see all the ends that are sticking up really good. That's a little, did you know that? So what's our question of the week, Angela? I just asked you it, now I can't even remember. Oh, what are you hard on yourself about? So what are you hard on yourself about sometimes?
When I make silly mistakes.
When you make silly mistakes, yes. Terry's hard on herself about that too. You know, yeah, she is too. I noticed that. She feels really bad if she makes a little mistake. Like if someone has a little mistake in their order or, you know.
I made a mistake with the live and I feel really bad.
Oh, what happened? Oh, it didn't go on. Oh, yeah, it didn't go on our last week's live. Didn't go right on Facebook.
Yeah, so I'm sorry for that.
Ah, we forgive her, don't we? You know, the truth is, Angela, most of the people do the live, watch the live after. Mm-hmm. So those of the, if you ever like are watching it on one platform and it's not there, just go to our website. It's always on that platform, right? Mm-hmm. And if it's not on our website for some reason, sometimes our technology, we miss a little something. Angela thinks that last week she posted the live on her personal Facebook. So I'm sure her friends are very happy. But maybe one of your friends will become rug hookers.
There you go.
So this is a good way of This is a good way of clipping. So that's getting ready for, now there's something else that's really an important part of rug hooking. And this is really important because if you want your family to support you in your rug hooking, you have to do this. Just wait. I'll be right back. Sorry, Donnie. Sorry. If you want their support, you have to be good with this. You have to love your broom. You have to maybe get a little mini vacuum. But it is really important, I think, to clean up after ourselves as we hook. Because if you're sitting, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm sitting in this huge mess, I hate to throw out that piece of linen, but it has no purpose. But if you want your family support, you got to be good with the broom. My husband says that if it wasn't for that little room in our house, he says that like 70% of the mess and dust in our house comes from the little room where I hook. So he says if we could keep that little room right clean, then everything else would be clean. So yeah, you gotta be friends with your broom. Anyway, all right, come on in. I'll show you something in here. Come with me. So I took the pattern that we were working on and I adapted it a little. This is where I hide my broom. Right in behind here. Okay, I adapted it a little. And I'm going to finish it. I'm going to finish this rug with you in here today. So I said last week that if you wanted to use other colors in that rug. So what I used was I used some Rasta and I used some, I don't know, I think that was a Sulka or something. And now I'm just going to finish up my background here. Just going to pull it out. And I'm using like light grays and creams and beiges. So when you're hooking your background, you can follow the outline of your elements, your neutral elements, because that was our question for last week. Just thinking about what I'm hard on myself about. I find people really hard on themselves about their creativity and their rug hooking sometimes. Like, oh, I'm not that good, I can't draw. What am I hard on myself about? That's a big question, isn't it? Sometimes I'm hard on myself about, I question myself, question my habits too much. Like if I miss my walk or something, I feel like, oh goodness, I missed my walk. I'm kind of rigid that way. So I think that's one way that I'm hard on myself. I feel like I'm not being sort of, like I'm being bad. If I miss my walk or I eat too much or, like things like that. I sort of go kind of, I think, you shouldn't do that,
So I have a question about your rug.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the seed pods that are out in the studio,
yeah,
they're quite a bit lighter
than this one.
But this one seems vibrant, but would you still consider it neutrals? Because
I would still consider this neutrals, right? I think green is a very natural kind of color. So yeah, I would. Now probably some people wouldn't, right? But yeah, I would still. Would you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people often think that neutrals mean light.
Yeah, no, not always. I think you can have a lot of vibrancy in it, like a lot of moss, I think of neutrals and naturals as kind of together, right? I mean, black is a neutral color, right? This would be amazing outlined in black with moss green. You imagine that, like this. Oh, that would look so good if I had it white and then I outlined everything in black and then I use these sort of vibrant mosses. That would be sharp. Okay, I'm using a bit of cloth in this one. I'm loving cloth. I I don't know. You know, I bet there's going to be a time in my life where probably when my hooking life, well, that I'll probably hook a lot more cloth again, maybe. You never know, right? You just kind of roll. Your interests change a little bit. Now I need to get some of that little skinny yarn in here. So this one's all done. And I'm going to show you a trick with this one too. Because with the Shetty Camp frame and how I'm going to take this off. Because this is something that I do sometimes. I have a nice skinny yarn here too. That I talk about this in the course, about the different yarns. In the neutrals course, I talk about the different yarns that I'm using. So I'm just going to get the skinny one in here. What are you having for lunch today, Angela?
I'm going to have a chicken wrap.
Oh, that sounds good. I could use a few carbs, really. I have lentil soup, which is good. It's really good. I made it myself. Let's get the skinny one. I want the skinny one. Okay. But you know, I can hear myself being hard on myself or harsh, or sometimes I worry a lot about something, you know, and I'm anxious sometimes about things, and you know, I'm hard on myself for being anxious instead of thinking, well, you know, if you're anxious about something, it comes and it goes. Just, you know, it's like one of those things that rises. Do you worry about stuff?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you're pretty good though. I feel like like you got a cool demeanor a little bit, like you seem, but. You know, but everybody does sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. Yeah. Okay, we're going to finish this. 2 rugs in 2 weeks we finished. That's good. Now this one I might frame. I might not make a pillow out of this one. I think I'm going to order a frame for it. And do I order a white frame, a brown frame, or a black frame? What do you think?
I think a brown frame would be
I think the brown frame
beautiful.
would look really beautiful too. All right. Okay. So here's something we're doing now. All right. We're going to take this off. I just got to get my other scissors because I don't want to use those because they've got a piece of string tied on them, which means they're only for cutting. They're only for cutting rugs. So sometimes if I want to get a rug off the frame, like I've got a whole yard of linen on here on my Shetty Camp frame. So you can see that, right? I can keep hooking. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this off early. And we're going to do something else. So this is a little trick that is helpful if you're trying to get something, like if you have a gift you're doing and you want to get it finished. And I'll leave that extra linen on the frame right there, just like that. So when I want to go back and make another rug, I can just unroll this. Time-saving tips with Deanne Fitzpatrick.
That's really smart though.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I just sew it on there and it's so convenient. I love it, right? Now, I don't like leaving my frame like that because it makes it wobbly. I like to sew it on, so I might sew that on this afternoon. But for now, we're going to get a pin and a piece of paper. And I'm going to show you something else. We're going to measure these rugs for frames. So this one here is a seed pods, and that's part of our seed pod collection, okay? We have 2 seed pod patterns that you can order. You can order the digital. If you order the digital, you get them both, or you can order them on linen separately. And our neutrals course is on sale right now. So this is for the seed pods. So this is 24 inches. So if you're measuring for a frame, this is exactly 24 inches. This one is a little bigger and it's about 14. So I made it just a little bigger It's about 13 3/4. So because it's 13 3/4, I'm going to add 1/4 of an inch for the frame. So I'm going to make the frame 14 inches by 24 inches. And I'm going to do 1/8 in brown. So frames. Now for this one,
and if people are ordering the frames, please let us know if you've already added the 1/4 of an inch.
yes, yeah, if you did, you have to tell us the exact size of the frame that you want, right? So this one is about 24, and I always check here. It's about 24 1/2. So a half is 4/8. So I'm going to go 24 5/8. So you can add 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch, whichever you like. And then this is 13 3/4. Yeah, 13 3/4. And I check it in. So that will be by 14 inches. Black. And I'm going to pick a different profile for this frame. I'm going to get something a little heavier because I don't want that to have a little drama to it. Now, that's our live for this week, except we have these new organic yarns. Wouldn't that be great in your neutrals rug? This one, now, how many of these are there, Angela? There's like 10 of them, isn't there?
I think so.
Yeah. And they're 100% organic wool. And this one is called Ladybird. This one here is called Endemic. This one, which I find really weird, is called Rose Hill. I don't know why it's called Rose Hill. This one is Marshmallow. I was thinking last night about these marshmallow squares I used to make. Did you ever have those? Like shortbread crust on the bottom and then marshmallow on the top and coconut. And once I made them by myself and they were with gelatin and they turned out and everything. And then I think I made them again and the gelatin didn't set. But this woman, when I grew up, her name was Mon Beersford, and she would have those. When I would go visit Mary, I would just like be so happy. I would want to eat like 4 of them. But she had like a big crowd, so I'd only ever get one. But they were so delicious. Sometimes they were pink and sometimes they were light blue. So this pink color makes me think of that. And this one is Mojito. Mojito. I don't drink them, so I don't know how to say it. Do you ever drink a mojito?
I do.
You do?
I did. Yeah, they're good.
You did? Yeah, they're good. So this is an organic wool. It's called Heirloom Organic Print, and it is on our website for you. And I don't know how many colors there are, but there's a lot of colors, and it's a nice wool. I'll just show you the ply. It's like a 3-ply wool, so it's nice and chunky, and it's lovely, and it's some of our new colors. And you could use any of these colors in these new patterns if you wanted. I mean, why not? They don't have to be neutrals. I just love neutrals. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to give my dimensions to Terry. She's going to send them to Barb. John's going to make me some frames, and we're going to have a good old time framing these. Igor's going to frame them after. I have to text Norma, tell her she can pick them up, ready to bind. And I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for teaching other people how to hook rugs, for hooking rugs yourself, for shopping with the studio, for ordering. Thank you very much. I'm so looking forward to our Renew Retreat. I know many of you are registered for that. There's still time to register, so get registered. And just thank you. Thank you for being a part of the Deanne Fitzpatrick studio community. And you know what I'm going to tell you next, that when you share rug hooking, you don't know who you're sharing it with sometimes or who they're going to share it with. You just don't know the power of one little stitch, that sometimes it can make such a difference in somebody's life to have that opportunity to be creative and expressive. So thank you. Darla knows the power of rug hooking, don't you, Darla?
What?
The power of rug hooking. Yes. Powerful. It's a beautiful craft. So thank you for watching, and please share your rug hooking and share all your gifts with people. Thank you. Bye-bye.